Could put a dip in and with beer.
Well, that'd be even more funny. I'm not laughing. Okay. Good afternoon. I just wanted to throw some real quick numbers at you, just see how you react to it. 22. No, not a 22 spread. Not a 22-point spread from last night's game. Not the 22 beers you can drink in a night. And not even the, being 22. 22 veterans a day commit suicide. 22 people in their lives every single day that are military personnel. Just let that sink in for a second. 22 people. These people are protecting us day in and day out, and they commit suicide every day. How do you think their families deal with it? How would you deal with it if it was in your family? You know, throughout the military, 11 to 20% are battling a form of PTSD. 30% are developing mental problems 3 to 4 months after returning from a deployment. And then you have 10 to 20% suffering traumatic brain injuries while serving in the military. You know, almost 500,000 people are homeless in the United States, and around those, there's over 70,000 military people on the streets. 11% of those make up males, 9% are females. Roughly 45% of them are African Americans and Hispanics. So just something to think about. Some things that the opposition brings up that are reclaiming, you know, people are battling other forms of mental and physical issues every day. You know, why aren't we helping them out? Why are we only focusing one group? Another thing too is there's hundreds of thousands of people without jobs. Shouldn't we help them as well and not just leave them out to dry? And then my last thing is, what about people throughout the United States who are homeless, who also should be finding a place to live? So for my first example, you know, there are different forms of PTSD, believe it or not. There's 3. The first one is an acute PTSD, which lasts anywhere from 3 or less months. So if you get in a little car accident, you might have a little PTSD from that little car accident, but most likely it's going to be gone after 3 months. The second one is chronic PTSD, which lasts more than 3 months. And then the final and third one is it lasts 6 months or more. And the majority of people in the military have the third one that lasts 6 months or more. The things that, you know, they see overseas is a lot different from what we see here. You know, most people, general people, do not experience 2 and 3. Military personnel experience 2 and 3 on a daily basis. The likelihood of something traumatic happening to someone is a very low percentage and almost won't even happen, while people in Afghanistan and Iraq, they have to worry about something every day, whether it's an IED or just getting ambushed. This is why we should focus a little more on military than regular personnel, and after we create, you know, truly an efficient way to deal with people and helping them get what they deserve and helping them cope with, you know, different things they've seen overseas, this will truly help them be able to get past that. So my second point is, out of the 500,000 unemployed in the United States, military personnel makes up a decent percentage of that number. Almost 750,000 people are jobless. Of this, 60% are between the ages of 45 and higher, 36 are between the ages of 24 through 44, and the remaining percentage is 18 to 24. Basically, this is showing you once people retire out of the military or get a dishonorable discharge, they can't find a job. Keep in mind, most of these people have had a career 10, 15, 20 years, and yet they can't find a job whenever they retire. And these people have a skill set that most people don't, and they're dedicated towards their work, and we're not helping them at all. And what we should do is, you know, provide these people jobs, because then they can teach, you know, people like myself and you that, you know, different skill sets that you can learn throughout the workplace, and you can apply them to your work, and you'll be a better worker. My third point is, although the majority of the military personnel is homeless, it's only roughly about 80,000 veterans. That's not to include, you know, what the United States as a whole is homeless, because obviously that number is greater than just the veterans. While only 8% of the Americans can be claimed as the veteran status, 17% of them are on the streets every night. And in 2010, the Department of Veterans Affairs estimated that homeless veterans sleeping on American streets instead of, being in a house, because most living is overcrowded and overpopulated, so it's not there. And there's not a lot of, places that take in, like shelters don't take in that many people, and there's not a lot of them out there. And they cap off at like 200-300 people when you still got 1,000 or 2,000 in line trying to get in. So what we should honestly do is create more places like this, and it'll also create jobs. And for a veteran who is homeless and jobless, maybe they can work there and sleep there. Now they're making money and have somewhere to stay while helping others. And this is just some things that will really push forward on getting people off the streets. Sum things up one way. The way we are treating veterans and Americans, we needs to change, and we have to start somewhere. And why not start with people who are devoted their lives to protecting ours? We need someone to reevaluate different committees and form new ones in order to get these people the help they need. We honestly do not want these individuals to end up on the streets every day, how they've been doing the past 20, 30, 40 years. And we need to help them because they're sacrificing so much. Doing this will drop to 22 veterans a day, like I previously stated, suicides a day, and hopefully we can get it to 0. And this will keep families together, friends together, and you won't have to go through that hard problem, and it'll basically end it. It'll eradicate the 22 suicides a day. Appreciate it. Thank you for your time. That was hail.